Danielson's Framework for Teaching identifies aspects of teacher responsibilities that empirical studies have demonstrated as promoting improved student learning. Danielson's framework is useful in laying out the various areas of competence in which professional teachers need to develop expertise. Danielson divides the complex activity of teaching into 22 components, clustered into 4 domains of teacher responsibility. Domain number 1, planning and preparation. Components in Domain 1 outline how a teacher organizes the content of what students are expected to learn. In other words, how the teacher designs instruction. These include demonstrate knowledge of content and pedagogy, demonstrating knowledge of the students, selecting instructional goals, demonstrating knowledge of resources, designing coherent instruction, and assessing student learning.
Domain number 2, the classroom environment. The components in Domain 2 consist of the interactions that occur in a classroom that are non-instructional. These consist of creating an environment of respect and rapport among the students and with the teacher, establishing a culture for learning, managing classroom procedures, managing student behavior, and organizing the physical space.
Domain number 3, instruction. The components in Domain 3 are what constitute the core of teaching. The engagement of students in learning. These include communicating clearly and accurately, using questioning and discussion techniques, engaging students in learning, providing feedback to students, and demonstrating flexibility and responsiveness. Domain number 4, professional responsibilities. The components in Domain 4 represent a wide range of teachers' responsibilities outside the classroom. Teachers who demonstrate these competencies are highly valued by their colleagues and administrators, as well as being seen as true professionals. These include reflecting on teaching, maintaining accurate records, communicating with families, contributing to the school and district, growing and developing professionally, and showing professionalism.
Stevens Point Area Public School District uses the CISA model, which is broken down into 6 standards that teachers are evaluated on. Standard 1, professional knowledge. Standard 2, instructional planning. Standard 3, instructional delivery. Standard 4, assessment for and of learning. Standard 5, learning environment. And Standard 6, professionalism. The standards are slightly different than the 4 domains of the Danielson Framework previously discussed. However, all 4 of the Danielson domains fit into these 6 standards. The CISA standards are further broken down into indicators, similar to the Danielson indicators, but more in-depth and numerous. Each Danielson indicator can be found as a CISA indicator. Educators are evaluated on a 4-point scale for both evaluation systems. The main difference is the titles that were chosen. CISA chose unsatisfactory, basic, proficient, and distinguished, and Danielson chose ineffective, developing, accomplished, and exemplary. Overall, these evaluation models are very similar. Here is a side-by-side comparison of the summative year evaluation process for both CISA and Danielson. As you can see, they are almost exactly the same. The wording differs in a few of the steps, but still keeps the same basic meaning and process.
For the SWOT analysis, I came across several interviews of Danielson in which she herself critiqued and reflected on her framework. So for strengths, several large research studies demonstrated its predictive validity. That is, when teachers demonstrate high levels of proficiency on the FFT, their students show greater learning gains than do the students of teachers who perform less well. Over the years, Danielson schools and programs have created documents to provide as much support as possible for everyone using the model. Therefore, it has a large system of support compared to perhaps newer models and frameworks. For weaknesses, even if you are an exemplary teacher, there are still many outside factors that impact student learning. So even if you have the most engaging lesson, it can be nearly impossible for some students to learn on a daily basis. In addition, evaluations can create an extreme amount of stress and work if the evaluations are high stake. For opportunities, in 2007, specialized frames were created for non-classroom specialists. Danielson encouraged administrators to use or adapt them, although they do not have extensive validity research compared to the teaching frame. When you look at the second opportunity, Danielson noted that there are lots of ways to be good. meaning that there are many ways that you can meet some of the framework's expectations. For threats, Danielson was very clear, stating that this framework, as with any of them, will not have any positive impacts unless the judges are trained. To add on to threats, as we know in this profession, the educational field holds its fads, and many items come and go.